Guys, how are you?
Hi, doing well. How are you?
Well, congrats first of all, because we're coming back with a fan favorite. Yeah. So, any pressure whatsoever with the sequel?
No. On them.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, not necessarily.
You know,
we know it's a beloved
Yeah.
property. We know there's a built-in super fan base, and so we do want to make something that was as impactful and memorable, and something that it clearly struck a chord with people emotionally, and we strive to create something like that, but not necessarily a pressure to live up to the original.
And we know that your character in itself was one of the characters that was originally in there 30 years ago.
Right.
Here we are, fast forward 30 years. So what can you tell us sort of about what's going on? What are we going to see your character doing, how they team up with both of you?
well, the idea of leaping is a wonderful idea, but can you imagine someone stepping into your world for a few days and you go somewhere else and now you're back and what the hell just happened? Because in that process, something miraculous happened. Lives are saved. And so for Magic, the character I play, he's obsessed with this, what happened, and discovers a project and works really hard to get it back and to just find out what happened.
Right.
And, how do we bring back, I'm going to blank on names now, but bring back the Sam Beckett, who's still out there somewhere. And it's and it creates some wonderful things in his life, but also some traumatic stuff that it makes it difficult in relationships, and just how do you cope with that?
Right.
And so it's a straight. So he has his issues, but loves this amazing team that he's managed to pull together, and so it's very exciting. A lot of stuff for me to play with.
Okay, let's talk about the team. So tell us about your character, what we're going to be seeing, and what's her big part in all this.
So I'm Addison. I'm playing Addison. She's ex-military, ex-intelligence, was brought on this project by Magic. And she has been kind of leading the charge when it comes to really getting this off the ground.
Right.
Went and found Dr. Ben Song, who was a wonderful choice and really got things going, clearly. And then, leaked.
Then just went.
Then just went. So, her main focus at the top here is figuring out what happened.
Right.
Why did this happen? Keeping kind of the wolves at bay, helping, trying to get Magic to keep the wolves at bay, because this is a huge problem.
So basically everyone's listening to your character. You got
At the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm just yelling.
She's the hammer.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
the hammer.
Yeah. I'm the nail.
You just leap somewhere.
Yeah, I just leave, and I'm the nail that just keeps bending sideways, and you have to kind of straighten it out. It's like, we can't get a new nail, but we can keep trying to fix this one.
This one.
Because we got no other nails.
We got no other nails. Yeah.
So, okay, tell me about your character. We know he's Leap, but you also play a scientist, correct?
Yeah. That's being a scientist was the reason why I was able to get involved with this. Not myself as a scientist.
I was going to
no.
say, is this something
Sorry.
you're not telling
I'm
us?
just going full method with this.
Yeah.
Playing a scientist. It was because of Dr. Ben Song's skill set that he was brought onto this. And somewhere along the lines, he chose to kind of take it upon himself to utilize the quantum accelerator in a way that perhaps wasn't sanctioned to do so. And now he's dealing with the ramifications of that.
I know that sometimes we all say if I could only go back in time here, or just go to this period, this moment that happened. Do you ever think about that, a time in your life when you're like, gosh, if I could just go back there, or maybe fast forward, see where I am, maybe 2 years from now? Did you ever think of that?
I mean, yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, I always kind of want to go forward and kind of see what happens, but at the end of the day, that kind of ruins the ride, right? It's a part of the excitement of trying things, and trying things that are hard is the knowledge that you might fail. And I think that makes it harder and more worth it at the end. So that would be my answer for leaping forward.
Yeah, I think the idea of going back in time is pretty exciting, but the problem or the issue with our show is you go back in time, but you don't know who you end up as.
That's right.
So I'm thinking I'm going to go back and be the president, and I might be picking cotton.
It's a very fast
yeah, you
ride.
don't have a choice. You don't have a list of, I want to be this guy. And that also is what makes it so exciting, just the humanity of being in someone else's world. And, you know, you begin to understand not just what they do, but why they do, and how we all cope with. And that, to me, that's the most exciting thing about the show.
Did you watch any of the old episodes by any chance to kind of see what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
or kind of like, no, I'm kind of going to go in there.
Yeah, no,
do
I
my
mean,
thing.
I have prior memory of the show, watching it back when. I believe it was on USA and the second time around, and because I was a little young for it the first time around, but I remember watching it and thinking, wow, this is really magical. You know, first time really imagining yourself as being a rock star, perhaps, and what that would be like. And to kind of answer the question before, I don't know that I would necessarily want to go in my own life ahead or back, but the idea of leaping is the most magical, because you can be David Bowie if I can't control it, but imagine it.
Right.
And that's really the fun part of it. But yeah, I mean, the show, to answer your question, I did watch to go revisit it, and it's just the scene where Dr. Sam Beckett is talking to his dad on the phone, pretending to be like his uncle's child because his dad can't know who he is.
Right.
I feel like that is like the heart of the character in the show. And to try to recreate that same feeling has been my own personal journey to infuse into what is the meaning behind Dr. Ben's existence, and how is he intrinsically linked to Addison, and why is that connection there? And there is a bigger meaning to all of this, and we have to figure out why.
And which we'll all find out, because you can't spoil it for us, right?
Yeah. I don't
That's
even
the
know,
plan.
so
Yeah.
I can't spoil it if I wanted to.
I do have to ask, because we got recent news recently that Ghostbusters Afterlife coming back for a sequel.
Yeah,
So you'll
yes,
be back
I
for
read that.
another sequel.
Yeah, I read that. It's very exciting. You know,
Well, I hope so. You're in it.
I talked to my banker. He got excited. You know, my wife got excited. The dog saw an upgrade in his food. Everybody
Got a
got
cushier
excited,
bed.
You know, yeah, it's like, man, this is. Yeah, no, I love the franchise. Obviously, I've been a part of it for 40 years, and the last one did well. And yeah, I'm just so thankful to, you know, that's ongoing. But right now, this is the most exciting thing in my world. You know.
Absolutely, and I know that you're coming off another big premiere, and like still coming on with another loved movie, Top Gun Maverick. Here we are. Have you taken it all in, absorbed the obsession, the fans' love for this movie?
Yeah, I think it's impossible to really process it. So I understand.
So you're just gonna.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Like I auditioned for that movie fully knowing what this would be. Fully loving the original, and fully knowing that in my mind that when this comes out, knowing how Tom Cruise might like to work, that this would be the biggest movie since the original Top Gun in the realms of aviation, flying, how the Navy is portrayed. You know, yeah, it's really, I'm kind of getting emotional thinking about it, because it's you know, you grow up on this stuff and you see how it's inspired you, and you see how it comes around full circle. So I guess perhaps what I'm getting verklempt about, it would be the same reasons why the show is getting a sequel, and why Top Gun is being brought back after 30 some odd years, and it's for the fans, and that's very exciting.